I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, intent on putting together the 236 items that I wanted to include in today's talk. And I know there were 236, I counted them like 11 times. I'm sure of that. But I couldn't get them to connect. I couldn't connect with my inner being. I was trying to get a grasp on and the harder I squeezed, it was like squeezing a handful of grape jelly. It just squoozed out everywhere. It is not. And I thought, I don't think I'm any different than any one of you. Every one of us has to live through the complexities of connecting with each other, connecting with nature, connecting with our own inner being. I can't think of a single facet of life that isn't connected greatly with the unseen, with spirit, with God. I can't think of a single facet of our life experience that doesn't have that unseen power and energy in it. But in our busyness, in our conditioned habitual lives, we just can't seem to grasp it or be aware of it. It's that awareness word again. I was having a conversation with a young person who was going through all of the drama of a young person living. It's like I just can't find any answers. And I said in all of my wisdom, well, there's a spiritual answer for every problem. Wayne Dyer said that. But I think in that statement alone, there's something for us to consider. We call it a problem. We put a negative connotation to it. It's an experience that we don't know how to connect with, flow with, utilize to our benefit. We call it a problem instead of an opportunity. We call it a challenge instead of another chance to learn something or experience something we've never experienced before. I had a very interesting conversation with Debbie Knapp, our pianist, yesterday. Seems that she and Jim are going on a trip in May. They're going to Finland to an indigenous community for their trip. And I thought, wow, that's very cool. And she'd done a lot of research on these indigenous communities. And in her research, she had read an article or book or something. I don't know. It's just in conversation. I may have some of the facts skewed a little bit. But she said a lady had written something that she had visited the elder grandmothers of the Pomo tribe here in California. And in the interview with them, this lady, this writer, asked these grandmothers what was the greatest sadness or problem they could see with humanity. And these grandmothers talked for a second and just said, humanity has lost its connection with nature. We human creatures used to live in nature and be part of nature. We were connected with nature. And somehow along the way, instead of being in nature, we started living off of nature and just using it and consuming it. But as we expand our awareness and elevate our consciousness, each one of us can make shifts in our lives and dig through some of that complexity of connection and reconnect, be aware of our connection with nature, be aware of our connection with each other. Debbie also said she just read an article in the April edition of the New Yorker, and I'm going to look it up online. I was going to do it last night, but I ran out of time. And she said it's called the Icecapades. And the article is about the mini ice age that happened here on Earth. And don't hold me to this, but I think she said it was between the 12th and the 15th centuries. And this article talks about how this little ice age transformed the consciousness of humanity. Up until that time, it was the feudal system and huge poverty, and then this cold spell set in. And the people had lost connection with themselves and each other. And this cold spell set in, and all of a sudden, people started reconnecting with nature. They started reconnecting with themselves, and they started reconnecting with their source, with the divine. And the Renaissance happened. The time of restructuring, recreating, creating new things. And I see, I think, I know, I feel that we are on the edge of another one of these things. This climate change. It's not going to be a short-term little bump in the road. This is going to be an altering of universe consciousness. And I think each of us, in our attendance here, in our work that we do to elevate our understanding and awareness, I think that's going to be our key to surviving. It's going to be the foundation that we pass along to our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That's going to be the foundation of a brand new renaissance for our universe, for a new way of living, whole different aspect of connecting with our universe, with our source, with each other, in ways that perhaps none of us can even imagine. Vivian's been telling me that for years. We're going to have a future you can't even imagine in ways that we interact with each other. these things we call opinions. Are they a gift, or are they a gift with strings attached? I'm not sure. A few weeks ago, Maury gave a talk. I wasn't here, I missed it. But if I remember correctly, he talked about hope. I have no idea what he said. He didn't share anything. I heard some people say it was good, but what about hope? In this time of total chaos, competition, what about hope? As we elevate our awareness about interacting with each other, instead of being in competition, may we be ever more aware that we are in cooperation. We are in partnership with each other. All of us on this planet. We're in partnership with the human beings. We're in partnership with the plants and animals and the air. Where is our hope at with these, we'll call them challenges? Maybe we should call them events and experiences of life that we haven't had the privilege of living through yet. So many things that we have the opportunity to learn in the very near future. Each of us wants, and I think needs, to have some hope in your gut. There's a very crude and twisted comedian who's pretty humorous, actually. His name's Jim Jeffries. He ends his show with something that always catches my attention. He ends his show every week with, "I think we can all do better." And that really sticks with me. And for me, that's kind of a real keystone to my hope, is that I think and I know every one of us can do better. And the reason I think that and know that is because you're sitting right here. You show intention, you show effort, you work at it. This is serious. It's all about the connection with you and the divine, and how all of us can use that to do better. We're going to sing a little song now called "Open My Eyes." It's about being aware. Open my eyes, open my heart, and let me see and feel and do better. And so it is.